voluminous documents concerning their properties, their farmlands, which now the Waqf is claiming to be its own. The farmers have been cultivating this land over 4 to 5 generations, starting from 1920s, 1930s, whether it is in the Pani, whether it is in the mutation register, and whether it is in all revenue records. The names of the farmers and their families are mentioned. However, over the last few months, the Waqf Board in Karnataka has started claiming all of these lands to be their own. In just one village in Vijapura Taluk, in Vijapura district, in Kolhara Taluk, 1,500 acres has been claimed by the Waqf Board to be its own. And in all of Vijaypura district, the Waqf Board today is claiming more than 15,000 acres as its own. And the Congress minister in Karnataka, Mr. Zamir Ahmad Khan, recently went on a tour of many districts in Karnataka. And he has instructed the deputy commissioners and the revenue authorities in these districts to register these claims of the Waqf Board in the name, on all of these lands in the name of the Waqf Board within 15 days. And thereafter, without giving any notices, without giving practically renders the land and its use by the farmers redundant, because the farmer cannot sell the land, he cannot there will be problems with inheritation, problems with mutation. They can't go to any government department and take any subsidies, any loans. And this entire problem is a creation of the Waqf Act, wherein the Congress governments in both 1995 and 2013 gave unbridled powers to the Waqf Board to not only determine any land upon a summary inquiry to conclude with that a particular land is its own, and to also adjudicate upon it through the Waqf Tribunal, whose decision is final and whose decision cannot be appealed, and also giving it powers of removal of encroachment under section 54, a whole package. There is no legislation in any country in the world similar to the kind of powers that Waqf Board has been given in India. The Waqf Board has been given powers to decide whether a particular piece of land is its own, and upon coming to the conclusion that it can be, that it is its own land, upon its own satisfaction, it can issue a gazette notification, and or rather cause issuance of a gazette notification, upon which the mutation changes, upon which the Pani changes, upon which the revenue records changes. And if there is any litigation that arises out of that claim, that litigation also has to come before its own tribunal, whose decision is final and non-appealable. And after such a decision is arrived, to remove the encroachment, the Waqf Board also has been given powers of removal of encroachment. I want to request all farmers of Karnataka, if Waqf Board is making such baseless claims about your land, my office is open to you 24/7. Please come with your documents. I will fight for you both inside of the court and outside of the court. And this very December, in the winter session of the parliament, the Modi government is going to correct these blunders, these historical blunders in the Waqf Act, and put a full stop to the atrocity, the unilateral powers of encroachment that through statute the Waqf Board has been conferred upon.
What is the genesis of this claim in this Bijapur village? Or does the Waqf Board has any document or any historical data that belongs to them? On what basis are they asking the land?
Zero. Nothing. The notice of the Waqf Board is here. I will give you a copy. The notification, the notice that they have issued under Section 40 does not mention a single sentence on how and on what basis they are making these claims. But that is the nature and the beauty of the act. Because you can claim any land on the basis of a concept called Waqf by user. And if you or I have to claim a particular land as, a particular immovable property as our own, the onus of proving it, the burden of proof lies on us. But in the case of the Waqf Board, if the Waqf Board claims a property to be its own, then the burden of proof to prove that the property does not belong to you then is transferred on the farmer. All that the Waqf Board has to do is make a claim. And thereupon, you will have to prove that it is your property and not the Waqf Board's property. And the Waqf Board has been given powers under Section 40 to conduct a summary inquiry. And who has to be satisfied? The Waqf Board has to be satisfied. You need not be satisfied. The DC need not be satisfied. Any secular authority need not be satisfied. The Waqf Board needs to be satisfied that this property belongs to them. And upon their satisfaction, they can cause issuance of a gazette notification. And upon the issuance of a gazette notification, the revenue authorities will register the land in the Waqf Board's favor. What exactly has happened in Vijaypura? The notice has been issued because the Waqf Board felt that it is their land. And upon that notification, a Congress minister demanded the authorities to register. And within 15 days, without offering any opportunity to be heard, without issuance of notice, without any principles of natural justice being followed, hundreds of acres of land is being registered in the name of the Waqf Board. What does Mr. Zamir Ahmad Khan and the Congress party want to do in Karnataka? Do they want to make Karnataka into Pakistan? This is the concern of the farmers of Karnataka. And all of these, mind you, is done through the powers of a statute. Show me one other piece of legislation in the whole of the world that gives any religious authority power to declare any property that it feels at will upon its own satisfaction as its own. And if there is a litigation come before its tribunal, whose order is final, and to enforce that order, the very same authority has powers of removal of encroachment. Show one piece of similar legislation in any part of the world, including in Islamic countries. And many people are asking, what is the reason for, why is this amendment to Waqf Act necessary? This is the real problem that farmers are facing. In one village in Bijapura, the last 15 days, the farmers have been fighting this issue from the last 6-7 years. And over the last 15 days, because the minister has instructed, the revenue authorities have registered more than 1,500 acres of land in just one village in Bijapura. And in the whole of the district, around 15,000 acres is claimed. And the notice says that they have some 20 other survey numbers it has enumerated, even in Bagalkot district in Jamkhandi Taluk. So when will this encroachment, when will this stop? Who will bell the cat? Therefore, my request to all the farmers, ನಾನು ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಮನವಿ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕದ ಎಲ್ಲ ರೈತರಿಗೂ ಕೂಡ, if there is any such baseless claim, any claim whatsoever made by Waqf Board, please come to our office. We are going to be agitating this before the appropriate forums. I myself will be fighting these cases in the High Court. And of course, in the JPC, we are going to document all of these instances. And in this very year's parliament session, the winter session of this very year, this Waqf Act of 1995, as we know it, that has caused so much of disturbance, so much of communal disharmony, so much of corruption, this will be put to an end. This is the commitment of the Modi government.
Do you see this as a conspiracy to corner or grab as much land as possible as land before the law changes?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Which is why the minister has gone on this whirlwind tour everywhere. And in some programs, in some districts, the DC who happens to be the custodian of revenue records, the DC who happens to be the highest authority of revenue records in the district, is seen sitting with the sitting with the minister, the Waqf minister, on stage with Muslim organizations organizing these programs, and upon the minister's direction, in less than 15 days, they are registering these cases, I mean, these lands as Waqf land. And one ಇದು ಕೊಡಿ invitation. This is something that I want to show you all.
ನಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿ ವಿಜಯಪುರದ ಜಮೀರ್ ಅಹಮದ್ ಖಾನ್ ಅವರು ಬಂದಾಗ ರೀ ತಹಸೀಲ್ದಾರ್ಗೆ ಏನ್ ಕೇಳ್ತಾರೆ ಎಬಿಸಿಎಂಸಿ ಬಬಲೇಶ್ವರ ತಾಲೂಕಿನಾಗ ಎಷ್ಟು ಮಾಡಿದಪ್ಪ 30% ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ ಅವ್ರು ತಹಸೀಲ್ದಾರ್ ಅವ್ರು ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ ಆಮ್ಯಾಗ ಅವರು ಇಲ್ರಿ ನಮ್ಮ 30% ಹೋಗದ್ರಿ ಸರ್ ಅಂತ ಇದು ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ.
ಇನ್ ದ ಮ್ಯೂಟೇಶನ್ ರಿಜಿಸ್ಟರ್ ಇದು ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ ಸರ್ಕಾರ ವಕ್ಫ್ ಅಂತ ಹಾಕಿರೋ ತೋರಿಸಿದೆ. ಎಲ್ಲಿದೆ ಅದು?
మన జిల్లా
see how this encroachment happens under the Waqf Act. Now ಒಂದೇ ನಿಮಿಷ, ಇದು ನಿಮ್ದು ನೋಟಿಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳಿ, ವಕ್ಫ್ ನೋಟಿಸ್ ಅದು ಕೊಡ್ರಿ. ಅಲ್ಲ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕೊಟ್ರಲ್ರಿ ನನಗೆ, ನನಗೆ ನೋಟಿಸ್ ಕೊಟ್ರೆ. ಅಲ್ಲ ಇದು ಸರ್ಕಾರದ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ವಕ್ಫ್ದು ನೋಟಿಸ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ರಲ್ಲ ಅವ್ರು, ಇಂಗ್ಲಿಷ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಿ. ಈಗ ಬಿಡ್ರಿ, ನಾ ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಿ. So this is the land, and in Bijapur village, and the farmers here are producing revenue records from 1920, and these are so old that most of these records, as you will see, are handwritten. So from 1920 the farmers have these documents, and they have revenue records that mention their grandfather's name, great grandfather's name, the entire lineage is there. Then all of a sudden